84-year-old reveals turmeric recipe that eliminated inflammation in 4 days. Have you ever woken up in the morning, swung your legs out of bed, and felt that deep, stiff ache in your knees or hands? That sort of tightness and pain that just wasn't there in your younger days? I know I have. And if you're over 60, I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some days it feels like every little movement, getting up from a chair, reaching for something in the cupboard, comes with that familiar twinge. It's not just frustrating, it's exhausting. Now, I want you to picture this for a moment. What if there was a simple, natural way to ease that inflammation and get back some of the comfort and freedom you once had? Something easy enough to make at home without fancy pills or expensive treatments. That's exactly what I'm here to share with you today. My name's Margaret, and I'm 84 years old. Not too long ago, I struggled just like you. My hands would swell, my knees would ache, and by the end of the day, I felt drained. Then, I came across a simple turmeric recipe. Nothing complicated, just ingredients you likely already have in your kitchen. And after just 4 days of trying it, I felt a difference I hadn't felt in years. Now, before we dive into the recipe itself, let me tell you why this is so important, especially for folks our age. You see, inflammation isn't just about pain, it's your body's way of saying something's off balance. And as we get older, that balance gets harder to maintain. Maybe it's from years of wear and tear on the joints. Maybe it's from eating things that don't sit well with us anymore. Or maybe it's just plain old stress. Whatever the cause, inflammation can sneak in quietly, turning simple pleasures like gardening or taking a walk into hard work. In today's video, I want to share exactly how I made that turmeric recipe, why it works, and how you can try it for yourself. I'll also be talking about a few other helpful habits that I've picked up along the way, things that don't cost a thing but can make a world of difference in how you feel. So let's get started, shall we? First things first, turmeric. Now, maybe you've heard of it before. It's that bright golden spice often used in curries. But it's not just about flavor. Turmeric contains something called curcumin, which is known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Scientists have studied it for years, and it's shown promise in helping with joint pain, stiffness, and even heart health. But here's the thing. Just sprinkling a bit on your food isn't always enough to feel the full benefits. That's why I started making what I call my turmeric healing drink. It's a warm, soothing beverage that you can have in the morning or before bed. And it's not just good for your joints, it's actually quite comforting, almost like a little hug in a cup. Here's how I make it. I take about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, organic if you can find it, and mix it with a cup of warm water or milk. Now, I know some folks prefer almond or oat milk, and that's just fine too. The key is to add a pinch of black pepper. Why? Because black pepper helps your body absorb the curcumin from turmeric much better. Without it, you're not getting the full benefit. I also like to add a drizzle of honey, both for taste and because honey has its own soothing properties. So there you have it. Turmeric, black pepper, warm milk, and honey. Simple, right? But don't let its simplicity fool you. After just 4 days of drinking this once in the morning and once at night, my hands felt less stiff, my knees didn't creak as much, and I found myself moving more easily. It felt like I was shedding a weight I didn't even know I was carrying. Now, I'm not saying this is a miracle cure. I still have days where I feel a little achy, especially when the weather changes. But compared to how I felt before, this turmeric drink has made a big difference. And the best part? It's completely natural, gentle on the stomach, and easy to make part of your daily routine. But turmeric isn't the only thing that's helped me. Alongside my healing drink, I've also made a conscious effort to keep moving. And I don't mean running marathons or hitting the gym. No, for us, it's about gentle, steady movement that keeps the joints flexible and the blood flowing. One thing I love is a simple morning stretch routine. Nothing fancy, just 10 minutes each morning, stretching my arms, my back, and especially my legs. It helps wake up the body and gets everything moving before I start my day. I like to think of it as oiling a rusty hinge. You don't want to force it, just gently work it back and forth until it moves smoothly again. There's something really peaceful about those quiet morning moments. I put on some soft music or even listen to the birds outside the window, and I just take my time. And if stretching isn't quite your thing, Even a slow walk around the block can do wonders. I've had friends tell me, Margaret, I'm too stiff to stretch, my joints hurt too much. But here's the thing, even if it's just lifting your arms gently up and down or rotating your ankles while sitting in a chair, it counts. Movement doesn't have to be big to make a big difference. It's about creating a little momentum each day so things don't seize up completely. Now that we've talked about the turmeric healing drink and the importance of gentle daily movement, let me share one more thing that's been a game changer for me. That one thing is paying attention to what's going on in my kitchen. I know we've all heard about eating healthy, but let me tell you, after 60, especially after 70, what we put into our bodies really starts to show up in how we feel every single day. Years ago, I used to think food was just about keeping my belly full. Now, I see it as fuel for my joints, my heart, and even my mood. When I first started noticing the swelling in my hands and knees, I didn't immediately connect it to what I was eating. But then, after a little reading and talking with my doctor, I realized some of my favorite foods might have been part of the problem. Things like white bread, sugary snacks, and even that evening glass of wine I enjoyed a little too often. All those things can sneak extra inflammation into the body. That's when I made some small but steady changes. I didn't throw out everything in my pantry overnight. I just started with one thing, adding more anti-inflammatory foods into my meals, starting with fresh vegetables, leafy greens like spinach and kale, simple carrots and cucumbers, things that are easy to chop up and toss into a salad or soup. One thing that really helped was making sure I always had a bowl of chopped veggies in the fridge, ready to grab instead of reaching for a cookie or cracker. I found that when the healthy stuff is right there, already prepared, it's much easier to make the better choice, especially on those days when my energy feels low and cooking feels like too much work. Now, I know not everyone loves the idea of salads or raw veggies. Some days I don't either. That's where warm vegetable soups come in. There's something about a nice bowl of homemade soup that feels comforting, and it's so simple. Just water, a little broth, some turmeric thrown in for good measure, and whatever vegetables you have on hand. I like to simmer it slowly on the stove while I'm doing other things. By lunchtime, it's ready and waiting, and my whole house smells lovely. Along with the turmeric drink and these small diet adjustments, another habit I picked up is something you might not expect: staying hydrated. It sounds so basic, doesn't it? But as we get older, it's surprisingly easy to forget to drink enough water. I've seen it with my friends and even with myself. A lot of us just don't feel as thirsty as we used to. But without enough water, inflammation can actually get worse. Our joints need that moisture to stay flexible and cushioned. For me, I keep a big glass pitcher on my kitchen counter, filled with filtered water, a few slices of lemon, and sometimes a sprig of mint if I'm feeling fancy. That way, I see it throughout the day, and it reminds me to have a sip. If plain water feels too boring, herbal teas can be a lovely option too. Chamomile or ginger tea, with just a touch of honey, is both calming and hydrating. And here's something interesting I noticed. After I started really making sure to drink enough, not only did my joints feel less stiff, but my skin started looking a little brighter too. Friends would say, "Margaret, you look like you've been on vacation." But really, it was just water doing its quiet magic. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and talk about something I know many of us think about: medications. Maybe you're already taking pills for joint pain or blood pressure or one of those other little things that tend to pop up as we age. And that's okay. I'm not here to tell you to throw out your medicine, but I do believe there's something powerful about combining what the doctor gives us with simple, natural habits like the turmeric drink, good food, and proper hydration. It's about giving your body every possible tool to stay strong and comfortable. When I first started adding these habits into my day, one small change at a time, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if it would make a difference, but it did. And not just in how I felt physically, but in my overall mood too. I had more energy. I found myself wanting to go outside for a little walk again. My afternoons weren't spent just sitting in my chair, waiting for bedtime. One story that really sticks with me happened a few months after I'd made these changes. My granddaughter came to visit, and we went to the park together. Usually I'd sit on the bench and watch her play. But that day, I surprised both of us. I got up, walked alongside her, even helped her gather some wildflowers. She looked up at me and said, "Grandma, you're moving faster today." That little moment meant the world to me. It reminded me why these simple habits matter so much. It's not just about easing pain, it's about being able to enjoy life's little joys again. Of course, not every day is perfect. I still have my slower mornings now and then, especially if it's been raining or if I didn't sleep quite right. But compared to where I was before, waking up stiff, aching all over, feeling like my body was working against me, things have changed for the better in a way that feels steady and real. All of these changes, drinking my turmeric healing drink, adding more veggies, drinking more water, they didn't happen all at once. And they don't have to for you either. It's about finding what fits into your life, starting small, being gentle with yourself, and building up little by little. Now that we've talked about the turmeric drink, gentle movement, and those small kitchen habits that keep our bodies feeling good, there's another piece of the puzzle I'd love to share with you. That piece of the puzzle is rest. I know, rest might sound like the easiest thing in the world, but the truth is, real deep rest isn't always as simple as lying down and closing your eyes. Especially as we get older, it can be hard to fall asleep and stay asleep. I've had my fair share of nights staring at the ceiling, my mind wandering from one worry to the next. And when you don't sleep well, everything feels a little heavier the next day. Your joints ache more, your mood feels flat, and even your turmeric drink doesn't seem quite as comforting. So, I started making my evenings just as intentional as my mornings. I found that setting a calm, steady nighttime routine made a world of difference. It doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as turning off bright lights an hour before bed, putting on soft music, maybe sipping a warm cup of chamomile tea. Those little signals tell your body, it's time to wind down now. For me, one habit that really helped was writing in a small notebook before bed. I jot down 3 things I'm grateful for from that day. Simple things like a sunny afternoon, a good phone call with a friend, or a day where my knees didn't ache quite so much. It might sound small, but focusing on gratitude has a way of relaxing the mind, making it easier to drift off to sleep. Now, here's something I'd like you to really remember. Everything we've talked about, whether it's the turmeric healing drink, moving gently, eating fresh foods, staying hydrated, or getting restful sleep, it's all connected. You don't have to get everything perfect. You don't have to follow a strict schedule or push yourself too hard. It's about finding a rhythm that feels good for you and sticking with it in a way that's steady and kind. Some days you might skip your morning stretches. Other days, maybe you forget to drink enough water. That's okay. What matters is showing up for yourself again the next day. That's how real change happens. Not all at once, but through gentle persistence. And I know it's easy to feel discouraged. Maybe you've tried things before and felt like they didn't work. But I truly believe small steps can lead to big changes, no matter how old we are. If I can feel lighter and more comfortable in my body at 84, after years of stiffness and aches, there's no reason you can't experience the same. The important thing is to listen to your body, trust the process, and give yourself permission to slow down when you need to. We live in a world that moves so fast, always pushing for more. But there's real power in slowing down, in choosing quality over quantity, whether that's with food, movement, or rest. And if you ever feel like giving up, I want you to remember this. It's never too late to take care of yourself. It's never too late to feel better. Even if today you wake up feeling stiff or tired, tomorrow can be different. I've seen that in my own life, and I know it's possible for you too. Before we finish, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried turmeric before? Do you have your own little evening routine that helps you sleep better? Maybe a special tea or a song that helps you relax? If you feel comfortable, I'd love for you to share in the comments. I always enjoy reading about what's worked for others, and I believe we can all learn from each other's experiences. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to click that like button. It really helps get this kind of content out to others who might be looking for the same gentle, natural solutions. And if you'd like more videos like this, Things about staying active, eating well, and living a joyful life no matter your age. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There's plenty more to share, and I'd love for you to be part of this little community we're building here. So here's to you, whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond. Here's to finding comfort in your body, peace in your heart, and joy in the everyday moments. We might have a few more wrinkles now, a little more silver in our hair, but there's so much life left to live, and we deserve to live it feeling our best. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, keep moving gently, and don't forget your turmeric drink. Here's to living your best life at any age.